lads, I think I've made this video about 10 times already this year, but what is going on with the Chicago Sky? And I mean that. What is going on with the Chicago Sky? And I'm kind of in shock every time I see something, and it's just so messy. The whole scenario, this whole club is messy. From the players, to the coach, to the former coach, to the GM, to the owners, to the higher-ups, to the fans, to the everything. It's just messy. It is just so messy. And I'm not out here going to be blaming one person or another, because I think there are two trains of thought. There is the train of thought where you are a fan of Angel Reese and Kennedy Carter and you want to blame everything on the GM and the vets, or you're a fan of the vets and you want to blame everything, or you're just don't like Angel Reese, you want to blame everything on her. So I think the reality of this is just a dysfunctional franchise. It was a dysfunctional franchise before Angel Reese got there. It's still a dysfunctional franchise. Heck, the Chicago Sky basically handed the Minnesota Lynx a spot in the finals. Like, Alana Smith and Courtney Williams, they had both of them last year. They had both of them. But we got to talk a little bit again just about what happened today. So, if you guys didn't know, they had the something about the new practice facility. It's going to take a few years. It's going to cost way above 30 million. And you can see Elizabeth Williams was talking. And Elizabeth Williams was talking about Theresa Weatherspoon. And she didn't basically say anything really. But, people are going to be upset no matter what she says. Because at the end of the day, the rumor is that the vets basically staged a mutiny. That the likes of Elizabeth Williams, Izzy Harrison, Dana Evans basically just said, no, we're not doing this anymore. And the GM sided with those rather than the young players. But the reality of it is we don't know. We were not in the changing room. And you can see there is the likes of Michaela Onyenwere. But the one player that is not there, one big Chicago Sky player that's not at the launch, is the face of the franchise. And it's not like Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter's a free agent. No one knows what's going to happen with Kennedy Carter. She could go to China and make a boatload of money and not come back to the W. That's a legitimate possibility. No one knows what's going on with Kennedy Carter. Because Theresa Weatherspoon's the only coach that has been able to get anything out of her, realistically. She's the only coach that's made sure that Kennedy Carter's had her shit together. She has been a disaster for a lot of her coaches, but she's been great for Theresa Weatherspoon. But as soon as these pictures started going around and stuff, we then see Angel Reese tweeting, "Grass low, snakes show. When they show you who they are the first time, believe them." And look, I don't know if that has anything to do with the Chicago Sky situation. I don't know. But you would think just in general, if your goal is to just not be messy for your team, is to not tweet out something like that while your team is unveiling their practice facility. Which realistically, I'm guessing Angel Reese, they said that she was taking the brace off. I'm guessing she had prior commitments. I'm not going to hold it against her for not being there. Is it a weird look? Yes. It would be like if Indiana were opening a new practice facility and didn't have Caitlin Clark there. It would be a really weird look. Not like that it would be, you'd be calling out Caitlin Clark for it, but you'd be calling out the organization for it. But at the same time, if Caitlin Clark was out there posting on Instagram just cryptic tweets, that could be about anything. But the fact is, it also could be about the players there. It could be about the GM. It could be about anybody. And the fact that the GM was there saying that they have a good relationship with Angel, the GM had to confirm that he has a good relationship with Angel Reese, which is not a good sign either, by the way. Which is not a good sign. And then there's that tweet. There's those tweets where you're just I'm going to talk a little bit more about Theresa Weatherspoon's situation. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this more, but this is just a dysfunctional franchise. And they're not dysfunctional because of Angel Reese. Don't make that argument. They were dysfunctional before Angel Reese. There's a reason why everything fell apart before. But the Chicago Sky are going to suck next year. And people don't realize how bad they're going to suck. A lot of the Chicago Sky fans that are oh, yeah, it's just a down year. If it wasn't for injuries, we would have been in the playoffs. Yeah, you would have been in the playoffs, but you would have been spanked by the Liberty. The Chicago Sky are going to be worse next year than this year. The only team I can see being, if the Sun tear it down, the Sun might be, or the Sky might be worse than the Sun. But there's no, why would a free agent want to go there? At least now. Like, there's no stability. The vets are pissed. And I think that's kind of my theory on the Taurasi Weatherspoon situation, is that as far as like the free agents are concerned and the vets in the league, I think Elizabeth Williams is a well-respected vet. And I think that and same with Izzy Harrison, with the fact, again, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, she's not dating Natasha Cloud or something. That like they're the types of players that actually have the links to the other players in the league that are there for relationships, and it's probably more important to keep them happy if you're trying to compete. But the problem is the Sky are trying to compete. They're not trying to be a terrible team. So we might see another 13-win season next year, which just isn't good enough. That's pointless. Go and tank. Go get yourself whatever her name is, the Spanish big who's a hooper. Go get yourself Flaugier. Go get yourself, I can't even think of who else in the 2026 draft. And then stay bad in 2027. Go get yourself one of Zhang Jiu, Full Wiley, Hannah Hidalgo, Juju Watkins. Like, that 2027 draft is going to be as good as the 2024 one. Be bad for years. And I mean that. Be bad for years. Go get your 3rd pick, 4th pick this year. Don't do something dumb with the draft, like drafting any tomorrow. Go get top 3 pick next year. And the next year. And then suddenly you've now added a team of players. You pick which one of Angel Reese or Camilla Cardoso you're building around. You trade the other one for someone who fits better. And the team's in a good spot. But it just looks like it's fully dysfunctional. And it does look like, from the outside looking in, that the owner does not want to build around Angel Reese. That, like, what people are saying is that it was Taurasi Weatherspoon that wanted Angel. The owners wanted Cardoso. And that it was Taurasi Weatherspoon that really pushed for them to trade up for the 7th pick. I don't know how true that is, but I will say at the same time, Angel Reese is a moneymaker for the organization, but Chicago Sky is just incompetent. It is just completely incompetent organization. So I do feel like they're going to do something dumb. I think they're going to do something really dumb soon. I don't see Angel Reese being traded anytime soon. She's going to be there for the totality of her rookie deal anyway. But the Chicago Sky is a massive, like a disaster of an organization. And I actually do feel bad in a way for Angel Reese, because like when you're in a messy organization and you've got Twitter fingers, it never ends well. It's never going to end well. When the organization itself is dysfunctional and then the whole situation is messy and then you've got Twitter fingers as well. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if what Angel Reese said had nothing to do with Sky. Problem is, it's a cryptic tweet during the launch of their new practice facility, with her being the star player of the team and not being there. It's just not a good look. And I'm not even going to blame Angel Reese for this. It's just the entire situation around the Chicago Sky. It feels like it seems like a toxic locker room. It seemed like there's a toxic organization from top to bottom, to be honest.